Let's discuss on what exactly is the cloud. So let's have an introduction. Now, cloud computing is an important concept that needs to be understood or needs to be grasped by all IT professionals. Now, in our day-to-day lives, we do use a lot of services on the cloud. And when I mean the cloud, I mean the internet. So some examples are, a lot of us would be using Gmail as an email service. So this is a service provided by Google for the exchange of emails on the internet. We then have the file service. So if you want to upload files on the internet that can be accessed from anywhere, then you can use a service such as Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, etc. We are all very familiar with the video sharing service of YouTube. So this allows you to upload videos and make it available to the public. And then we are all aware of the social platform of Facebook. So these are all internet-based services. Now we come on to cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is the ability to harness the power of computing on the internet. Now, some of the features of cloud computing. Well, the first thing is that because it's available on the internet, it's easily available to users across the world. Next, if you use a cloud provider such as Amazon Web Services, then you have access to a plethora of resources or services which require little or no investment from your side. Now, please note that during the duration of this course, we will be emphasizing more on the investment and cost aspect because this is important from a cloud practitioner perspective. Now, next, it's also flexible. So when you use a cloud provider, you have more flexibility on what are the services you can use. Now, just to understand cloud computing better, let's take a typical example. So let's say you have a company that has or needs to host an application on a set of servers. So what would the company need to do? Well, first and foremost, they would need to purchase servers. So they would need to purchase physical servers on which they would either install the application or maybe create virtual servers. Now, apart from having the physical servers, they also need to purchase storage. So the storage would be attached to the physical servers. Now, apart from all of this, you also need to look at aspects such as networking. So you need to ensure that these servers are not only connected to each other, but that they're also connected to the internet. You also need to build a data center. Now, if a company has a large set of servers that need to host applications, then they would need to consider building an entire data center. So they would either have to have their own building or maybe even rent a building in order to host that data center. They would need to look at things such as security. So how do they safeguard? I'm talking about physical security over here. How do they safeguard that physical infrastructure? And then they would need to invest into aspects such as cooling. And obviously they have to look into the ongoing maintenance for that physical infrastructure. So all these things is really a huge investment for any company. But when you look at using a service, so when you look at using an online cloud computing service such as Amazon Web Services, they just make things much more simpler. So in the previous model, wherein if you want to host or company wants to host an application, if they're using Amazon Web Services, all they have to do is to spin up a virtual server on the internet. They don't need to look after the maintenance, the physical servers. They don't have to even consider networking, cooling, physical security, nothing. All of this will be done by Amazon Web Services. The only thing the company has to do is to focus on the virtual server. And because of all this, they don't need to make an initial investment. Another important point, which we'll also go through in subsequent chapters, is that when you use a cloud computing service, you only pay for what you use.
For more details, check the link in the description. Learn with Whizlabs. Success certified.